The Lelya versus the Wildcat head-to-head review coming up. All right, Eastern Bloc Airguns is back with a review against the FX Wildcat versus the Edgun Lelya, both in 22 caliber. The reason I wanted to do this review so bad is because about 2 years ago, I decided to get into the high-end airgun world, and I had a lot of trouble trying to figure out what to buy. And my first choice, like most people, was the Wildcat. But then I just wanted to try something that was out of the mainstream. And after very little research that I found, I decided on the Edgun. What actually sold me was the dual-sided cocking lever, and I took a risk on it, and it turned out to be great. I love the gun. I love it. It's my go-to gun. It's my favorite gun I've ever had, and I still just absolutely love the gun. But something in the back of my mind kept thinking, what if you would have picked the Wildcat? What if you would have liked it more than the Lelya? What if? And I kept on thinking, what if? And finally I got an opportunity to extensively shoot a Wildcat, and I took it. And this is one of the reasons why you've not seen any hunting videos, because every day that I could possibly shoot since the beginning of December, I've been shooting this against this at 50, 75, and 100 yards. And I'll show you my results. Now, I gotta tell you, disclaimer, that I love my Edgun, and even if the Wildcat turned out to be better, I would still keep this one, just because I got sentimental value for it. But anyway, I'm not paid by either FX or Edgun, so therefore this review is going to be completely objective, and I'm not going to skimp. If this gun is better than this one, I'm going to say it, even though the gun I love is this one. But I'm going to start this video off with just accuracy, 50, 75, and then 100, and then I'm going to go over all the differences I see in the guns that are notable, and tell you where this one shines compared to this one, and vice versa. So here we go, 50 yards first. All right, before I get started on the 50-yard results that I found, there's a couple of assumptions that most airgunners have on YouTube. My main purpose in shooting all three of these ranges is to find out if smooth twist, regular first generation smooth twist, is more accurate than Lothar Wather. Many YouTubers say it is, and my main goal was to figure that out to see if it's true. And I measured it over and over again at 50, 75, and 100. In 50 yards, I shot these targets over and over. Every day I went out, I shot at 50 yards. I shot like a 50-meter bench rest with the Lelya and the Wildcat. See, all kinds of them. And I added them up, and I'll show you the results first. I'll show you what I found. Now these videos, these are only a magazine worth of each gun, but it's the results that I got from shooting these and many other 50-yard targets. Here you go. too much wind. I'll wait. I think I got it. All right, Lelya, 50 yards. It's been about 15 minutes. Here's the Wildcats group for reference. Here's a Lelya's group. Oh, I'm high. Damn. That's it, 10 shots. All right, that was at 50 yards, and that was representative of all the shooting that I did at 50 yards. Now this is the Wildcat group. Had 6 shots, really tight, and 2 semi-minor flyers. And then the Edgun had all a little less tight, but all 10 were touching. And I believe that was close to, that was right at MOA. And these shots are, if you exclude the 2 flyers, were right below MOA. And that was consistent with all the 50-yard bench rest shooting. I added these up day after day, and added them up, and found that the Edgun at 50 yards shot consistently better than the Wildcat. Not a lot, but just a little. Now, people would say that's probably because you use the Edgun for 2 years and know how to shoot it. Yeah, that's probably true, but I really believe that due to the higher twist at close range, the Edgun is better at anything within 50 yards, better than the Wildcat. I really believe that from what I have seen. It's due to the twist rate. If you get one slightly bad pellet, it's able to correct itself quicker than a slower FX twist rate. And that is probably why a lot of times you see Lothar Wather barrels being used at like 25-meter competitions. They have such a high twist rate for short range. So that is probably true, and that's kind of what I was thinking. And next we'll check 75. Wind. Damn it. All right, Wildcat, 75 yards. Blink. 8 shots. And this one I shot over and over again. I used just round targets, and I found that there was no difference, literally no difference. Here is the Lelya, and here is the Wildcat. And remember, the Wildcat only has 8 shots. I only shoot 1 magazine. This is an 8-shot group, and this is a 10-shot group. And after measuring them over and over, I really found no difference. I mean, I probably did, I would say 40 shots like this, 40 magazines. I went through probably $40 worth of targets over all this. And I found that 75 yards, I measured each group. Rather than doing points, I measured each group and found really no difference. The groups were tended to be about the same in all conditions. Windy, no wind, everything was about the same. Both guns shot about MOA at 75 yards. Next is 100, and that's when stuff gets a little more interesting. Alright, I would say the 100 yards I scrutinized over the testing most. Over and over I scrutinized to see if these smooth twist liners, smooth twist, regular Mach 1 smooth twist barrels are actually more efficient. And after shooting group after group at 100 yards, over and over with the Lelya and measuring them, I still couldn't tell. Some of the groups were, some of the groups weren't. I still couldn't figure it out. So I started shooting like 30, 40 rounds together at paper and not being able to see the hole. Both of these, by the way, I didn't mention, they both have fixed 10 power scopes. So not one scope's better than the other. And I've been shooting at these without being able to see them. And I would check. And it started to seem to me that the Wildcat seems to be edging out the Lelya at 100 yards. If you see this group, and you still look at this group, they seem to be. So, but I wasn't sure, so I had to do a lot more testing. And I decided I was going to use a large target, the biggest target I have, and shoot 50 rounds in it on a low wind day. It turned out to be only 3 miles an hour. It went up and down, but the wind was not a major factor in this shoot. And I shot 48 rounds with the Wildcat. That's 6 magazines, and 5 magazines with the Lelya, and that's 50 shots. And here's what happened. Alright, we got the Edgun, FX Wildcat 100-yard test. First magazine. Oh, start off good. Blank. 8 shots only. Alright, FX Wildcats. I think this is the fourth magazine. Damn it. Man, it's flying so nice. Bit of wind. Wink. All right, 6th magazine of the Wildcat. It's actually going to be the last. 6 times 8 is 48. 6th magazine. Okay, the wind picked up a little. I'm drifting a little to the left. It's high for some reason. All right. Edgun Lelya, 100 yards. 1st magazine. All right, Edgun Lelya, 3rd magazine. Ooh, that's a horrible one. Damn it, I ruined everything. Alright, Edgun Lelya, 5th magazine, last magazine. All right, there was the 100 yards. Now let me say, 10 power scope and with 18 grain pellets and like a small wind, it's not good for 100 yards. It never was. It's very difficult to get great groups at 100 yards, and I was not shooting like competition like style. I was trying to get 50 good rounds in a short amount of time, downrange, put on paper, and compare. So here we go. Let's compare. This is the Wildcat. Take a good look at it. Let it absorb for a few seconds. And this is the Lelya. Let it absorb. Compare both of them side by side. Does anything stand out to you? Let me tell you, it sure did not immediately stand out to me. I looked at this and I came to the conclusion that the Lelya had more bullseye shots, more dead center shots, with more between the red and the first ring. The Wildcat had less bullseye shots, but less in this area, and especially less if you draw a ring in between the dot and this first ring. It had especially less. So in conclusion, I would say that even though the Lelya hammered out more bullseyes, I think in competition, if you added this up, I think the Lelya would be more of a bullseye and 6 ring. You get bullseye or 6s. And then the Wildcat would probably be more of a 9 or 8. A little more consistent, but not as many bullseyes, if that makes sense. Really, I really don't think there's much of a difference. So a lot of YouTubers would probably think in 22 caliber would try to tell you that FX has to be the way to go. Yeah, I'm not so sure. Are they saying that because they're for other reasons? Or are they just saying that because they're truly being absolutely honest? You can put in the comments. Alright, next comes the boring part of the video where I discuss the differences that I noticed in the last these guns for the last 2.5 months. So the first one I immediately noticed was the trigger on the Wildcat. Oh my god, light, nice. Shooting in not cold weather. Oh, it was so nice. There was a 45-degree day where I felt the trigger fine with my finger. My hands didn't get cold. I had my gloves off. Oh, it was so nice. Anyway, when it was cold, this trigger did not work. I was popping off shots too early with my gloves on, trying to stay warm. And you can see that in a couple of those videos if you look back on the cold days that I was shooting. I was popping off shots too early. And this trigger is just a flat trigger, but 2.5 pounds. I always felt it in all weather. I liked it, and I could probably adjust it to be close to this if I ever needed to. Anyway, going on ergonomics, this stock is so nice, so smooth, soft. I do love this stock. That's a big plus for the Wildcat. And it's light. This gun is light. Now this one is heavier, maybe a pound heavier, and it's harder. The stock is more rigid, but it has a strap, an automatic strap that I use. So that was a big win. I really feel that's a big win. And then the cocking. It does not have a mechanical advantage, and this one is so smooth. Right when I got it, I noticed it's so smooth, it almost pushes itself back. And so nice that I don't even feel a pellet. At Lelya, I can always feel if I have a blank. I don't even pay attention to the magazine, because if I pull it back and push it forward, I can automatically tell if there's a pellet in there or not. On this one, it's not so clear. I don't actually know if there's a pellet in there. and I do fire a lot of blanks. And the 8-shot and 10-shot magazines, they both suck, so neither one. I'm not going to fault the Wildcat on that. And then let's get to price. No, right off the bat, you would think the Wildcat would be better because it's hundreds of dollars less in price. But in order to get up to the Lelyas, what the Lelya has, the price becomes close. If you think about it, this scope dovetail does not have a 20-minute MOA tilt downwards. So therefore, you got to invest in adjustable scope rings. And FX, they sell their adjustable scope rings. You can buy it for about $89. And then there's no moderator. There's a little bit of a shroud on this. There's a loud pop, much louder than the Lelya. This says automatically has the moderator on it. And then the magazine holders. To buy a magazine holder is like 20 bucks per magazine holder. The Lelya has 3 of them already in stock, right, with the gun. And I think those are the main differences. If you stuck around for that, you are an absolute airgun geek. Good night. What are y'all still doing here? The comparison review is over. Oh, you can leave. It's over. Bye. By the way, FX, if you're listening, okay, I know my channel's only like 390 subscribers, but if I can get on your payroll, I guarantee it'll grow. If you want me to say, if you send me $20,000 a year and you let me shoot your guns and let me travel around the world shooting your guns, I think we can work something out. My channel will grow and you'll sell a few more guns. I'll change my name to Swedish Air Guns, Swedish Block Air Guns. I don't care. Please. Okay. Contact me. My email's below.